What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, also follow on TikTok. So, yeah, let's get into this one. So, one of the other decent fights of the weekend was between Super Dan Azeez and Craig Spider Richards. So, these are two of the best in the light heavyweight division as far as British light heavyweights go. Both guys have got pedigree, both good fighters domestically, and in the case of Spider Richards, he's also been 12 rounds with Dimitri Bivol, who is the number one at light heavy at the moment. So, yeah, this was one of those fights where they're both guys that know each other. They're both like acquaintances, and I believe they're friends. I don't know how close they are, but they definitely know each other on the scene. Both South Londoners, so yeah, there was a lot of kind of local pride going into this fight, and in the end, it turned out went in the favor of Craig Spider Richards, who found a great left hook in actually the 12th and final round. It happened in I believe about 29 seconds of the 12th and final round, and it was one of those fights that was pretty interesting because you had in the beginning, the opening couple of rounds, I want to say probably the opening two, Dan Azeez, he had the better start. He started a bit quicker. He found his rhythm a bit quicker, and he was landing his shots better in those couple of rounds. Then Craig Spider Richards began to have his way. He had a bit more success in the third and fourth, and it sort of went from there where Craig Richards was sort of boxing his way into the fight. He found more of a rhythm, and as we got towards the latter part of the fight, as we got beyond sort of the middle rounds of going sort of into 9, 10, etc., that's where Craig Spider Richards really sort of found his rhythm, and he began to sort of outbox Dan Azeez, and Dan Azeez wasn't really able to sort of do much with him. I mean, it was just kind of Spider keeping him on the end of the punches, good straight punches, good 1-2s, and Spider was sort of winning the battle of the jabs all the way through it, especially those sort of middle rounds, and Dan Azeez just couldn't make the adjustment to sort of get inside or to sort of land his own jabs and his own straight right hands. It was almost like Craig sort of Spider made a bit of a switch of pace, and he adapted, and he went to sort of boxing very well from long range, and it was basically like Dan Azeez just couldn't really adapt to what was going on. He just couldn't get his feet close enough in time to really land on Spider Richards, and Craig was using the height and the reach to his advantage, and he just started peppering Dan Azeez really from the mid rounds onwards. Going into the later rounds, he would just pepper, landing a jab, landing a straight right hand, and he managed to hurt Dan Azeez. I believe it was in about the 9th round where he really rocked Dan Azeez and made him stumble back. Didn't put him down or anything, but you could tell he was rocked. It caused him to stumble. It caused him to move back, and Richards tried to jump on him a bit, wasn't able to put him down or do anything, but he was able to hurt him. And the pattern just continued from 9, 10, 11. Same pattern continued. Craig Spider Richards outboxing Dan Azeez from the outside. Dan Azeez basically ineffective, unable to get inside, unable to really land much or do any damage. Craig Richards just kind of made the fight his own, made it at his pace, at his long range, and was just picking Azeez off constantly, round after round. And then round 12 comes around. The commentary was saying, well, Azeez basically, he needs probably a knockdown or something like that, because he's obviously he's losing the fight. He's got to be behind in the fight. That's what I thought too. He needs something. He needs a knockdown, and you know, before we blink, less than 30 seconds into the 12th round, bang, in comes the left hook, and it's all over. And it was such a powerful punch. You could say it came out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming, and certainly Dan Azeez didn't see it coming either. And you know, it was one of those punches just put him down flat on his back, and you could tell he kind of wanted to get up, but by the time he even had a chance to think about anything, he was still flat on his back and, you know, barely able to move. He was not even able to sit up yet at the count of 10. He was still dazed and still pretty much out of it. So, yeah, great win for Craig Spider Richards. You know, 12th round knockout. You can't really ask for more. I think he was going to win the fight on points anyway. He was outboxing Dan Azeez, but that knockout just kind of put the final nail in the coffin. It kind of just put that stamp on the victory. So yeah, big congrats to Craig Spider Richards. He won the Battle of South London. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. Who do you think should be next for Spider Richards? I mean, there was talk in the comms about possibly putting Ben Whittaker in with the winner of this fight. You know, that's Spider Richards. But I've heard about Ben Whittaker possibly taking on Lyndon Arthur, maybe. It's not confirmed, but yeah, let me know what you think should be next for Spider Richards and what you thought of the fight in the comments. And until next time, it's MKO Boxing, over and out. I'll catch you on the next one.